Donald Trump is saying wrong is right. I wish I didn't have to make another video about Donald Trump. I'm getting a bit bored by him, but on the other hand, he is, in a very real sense, the man of the moment, in the sense that he is the person who is currently tearing the world apart, and therefore I do have to pay attention to him because almost everything he does is changing the map of political economy as we know it. Political economy is about how power is used to influence the allocation of resources in the world, and it is very obvious that Donald Trump is, even if he doesn't know it, an arch proponent of the art of political economy, because he wields power in a way that almost nobody else has tried to do so for a very long time. Right now, he's done so by declaring that he is going to impose sanctions upon anyone who is involved with the International Criminal Court. The International Criminal Court was established by international agreement, and the UK was one of those who helped set it up, and it was created to deal with war crimes. The precedent was obviously set after World War II, and the idea has been continued since, most successfully with regard to those who undertook crimes during the course of the Balkan Wars in the 1990s. The US has never signed up to the International Criminal Court. That is its right. The vast majority of countries in the world have done so. Russia is the other notable exception. It has, of course, very recently issued arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. And it has done so on the grounds that the court has decided, and by that I mean a series of eminent judges sitting as a court in The Hague, where this court is based, have decided that Benjamin Netanyahu should answer charges of having committed genocide. The case has very obviously to do with what has happened in Gaza. Let me say for the umpteenth time that what Hamas did on the 7th of October 2023 was unjustified, unwarranted, and in itself a war crime. They should not have undertaken the attacks that they did into Israeli territory. Of course, that was a crime. But the response since then has been utterly unjustified. Israel was allowed, under international law, to defend its borders. It did not have the right to invade Gaza. It did not have the right to undertake ethnic cleansing. It did not have the right to destroy the infrastructure of Gaza. It did not have the right to kill, at the very least, well over 40,000 Palestinians. But it has done that. And the International Criminal Court has decided that the actions of Benjamin Netanyahu and others in ordering this are potentially criminal. They have also, incidentally, decided that those who ordered the attack by Hamas were potentially criminal and have issued arrest warrants for them, although that is now a little technical because it is thought that all of those involved are now dead, killed by Israeli security forces and armed forces. So the International Criminal Court has viewed this case with impartiality. It has tried to bring charges against both sides. It is trying to hold people to account for their wrongdoings, and wrongdoings have happened on both the Hamas and Israeli side of this dispute. But Donald Trump doesn't see it that way. He has decided that the issue of an arrest warrant on Benjamin Netanyahu is itself a criminal offence. We are having to get used to the idea that Donald Trump is one of those people who believes that black is white and thinks that he can legislate for that to be the case. In this situation, he seems to think that genocide is okay and those prosecuting it are the criminals. And he's actually trying to make them criminal. He wants to impose sanctions on them in the USA so that he might bring charges against them. This is how perverse his judgment is on this issue. He literally wants to undermine the rights of those who are trying to bring those who have killed, contrary to international law, to justice. I don't actually understand why he would want to do that. I think Benjamin Netanyahu has got a case to answer. I'm not condemning him. I am saying he has a case to answer, and it should be heard in court. Why doesn't Trump want that heard? That can only be about political economy. He wants to use his power as a superpower, as an agency able to threaten around the world because of the military and economic power of the country that he is now president of to prevent the natural course of justice, which would seek to establish the facts and determine whether a penalty is due by the perpetrators. But he doesn't want that. And in the process, what he's doing is saying, I am going to suspend the rule of law. I am going to say what is right and wrong. I am going to dictate to the world what they may or may not do. I am going to prosecute those who seek to bring justice to the world. And that is intensely dangerous. This isn't just the action of a madman, although it's entirely reasonable to think that he is out of touch with reality. This is the action of a person who wants to destroy reality as we have known it, where ethics matter, where right and wrong are instinctively known to most of us, including the fact that killing contrary to the law is most definitely wrong. And yet, he wants to change that. Trump is a threat to everything that we know. He's using political power to make that threat. If the world does not wake up and realize very soon that they have to stand up against him, united in their opposition to the evil that he represents, we really are in danger. But we still have people like Keir Starmer in the UK, desperate for a trade deal with this man, as if he would honour any deal that he signed, as if the lessons of Munich in 1938 have not been learned. But that's where Starmer stands, and so he won't condemn Trump on anything. It's time all the world's politicians, those who oppose Trump inside the USA and all those outside the USA who stand up for human rights, for the principle of the rule of law, for justice, to say enough. We, the 7.7 odd billion people of the world, are going to stand up against the 300 million in the USA and say, you cannot do this. This is wrong. It is time for right to prevail and for Donald Trump to be put back into the box where he belongs. That box being wherever Trump Tower might be that he wants to live in, or Mar-a-Lago or whatever else. I wish no more harm to him than that. But he has to be constrained because the threat to us all is too great if he is not.